Hello everybody, this is Big Crab Cake, and we are back for a second version, or second run of the second episode of OGF Live this week, coming from Star Hobby in Annapolis, Maryland. We had a live version of this a little bit earlier, and once again, operator error on my part, and we had some pretty poor video quality. So we want to come back and take another look, give everybody a view of what this magnificent store has to offer and looks like. Joining me today is Jennifer.
Hi.
And
hello everybody.
Don Hale from Star Hobby, who is going to show us around in just a few minutes. So Star Hobby is a traditional local hobby shop, only mega size, because they have absolutely everything you could possibly imagine. Don, you want to let's start it for that one?
Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to Star Hobby.
I know there's a question before. How long has Star Hobby been around?
Star Hobby's been around for over 30 years. At this location, we've been here for about 20 years, and on a prior location, about 10. And then before we opened our first store, we were doing train shows all over the place, up and down the East Coast and out west, with Greenberg and some of the other show companies.
All right, now this is a pretty substantial store. I notice you have just a little bit of everything. We're going to go through that. But you also have an internet presence at shopstarhobby.com.
Yes, we just started that about a year and a half ago. That's what I mean. That's where everybody's kind of going towards, is the web, and it's just another avenue for advertising, and we get it. But as a store, and a family business, we prefer you to come and see us if and when possible. Years ago, or especially, and still is, was G-Gauge, and that's how we got started in the business, was in the G-Gauge side of it. And we would have people fly in from all over, and when they were coming to the DC area or New York, they would actually come into this area, see us, and then go on to somewhere else. And that was always felt good, that people made a destination stop to come and see us from overseas.
It's wonderful to have the option to come in, and it's something that fewer and fewer areas have the luxury of having. Right. So we're lucky here in Annapolis to have Star Hobby in our backyard. I notice here a very large selection of the Just Plug light system from Woodland Scenics. Okay, Doug, to answer some questions. We're in the middle of business day, and they are very busy as usual. So we'll be in and out. But I noticed that this seems to get bigger every so often.
Yeah, the Just Plug It system, it started off with this original rack right here, and over the course of a very short amount of time, they expanded into the O-gauge side, of course, N scale and HO, and into some of the lights now, into some of the overhead lights and things like that, and then into the buildings and the cars.
I use this system on my layout, and it's really simple and it's good.
Yeah,
they're not so dim that they make. I mean, it's really good stuff.
They make a great product, and they keep it simple. And the industry's changed a lot, where we had true hobbyists, and they were kind of scratch building, and all those kind of things. Now today, it's really a plug and play kind of thing. And for some people, it's a turn off for some of the old hobbyists, but for others, it's getting other people who normally wouldn't do the hobby to come into it. And that's true for anything, from trains to the slot cars to RC cars.
But even for the old time, you still have things like sound modules and parts.
We do. Speaking of some of the guys that like to do some of the old things, we have the Evergreen rack that you can, it's almost like Plastrucks.
Oh yeah.
And so you can get all some of your components and strips and I-beams and things like that, quarter rounds, tubing and things like that.
For people who want to scratch build.
Right. Kit bashing and scrap building. And for some of the guys who need to reinforce some things, we're one of the few stores that still carry, if and when possible, the K&S rack. For a lot of you guys who know of any of the tubing and metal stuff, that's getting harder and harder to find. From the big pieces to the small pieces up here.
Wow, that is a lot of selection.
It used to be more, but K&S started killing some of their even more specialized units right here.
Mm-hmm. So this is more for
the hobbyists, who are really making some things or fixing things, and that's who kind of gets those kind of things.
For finishing work, I see we just passed a ton of paints and painting supplies. what are the different companies that?
So some of the lines that we carry are the old tried and true testers enamel paints that have been around forever. And then the Tamiya line, which is a great line. It's a synthetic acrylic, so you can use their lacquers with their acrylics. They will actually go together, and that's their paint rack of sprays. And then we carry the Model Master series from testers, acrylics. We get a lot of people from trains to models who use that line.
Is it a thinner paint, or how's that different than
the acrylics are for the most part nowadays are pretty good. They're a water-based paint, so easier to use and clean up. The enamels you have to thin constantly, and you have to remember your ratios, so it's a little more advanced level, but not needed anymore with the new acrylics from Tamiya, Model Masters, or this line called Valero. And that's this rack right here, and you'll see they have tons of colors.
Oh my God, yeah. There can't be any color somebody's looking for that isn't here. That's incredible.
And then Tamiya has their regular sprays and bottles of paints.
That's really popular company in paint. They really come on strong. I noticed you also have the smoke fluid.
We do. We have the Mega Smoke, which we love. Around Christmas time, we sell more of like the hot chocolate, candy cane, and things like that. And then for the most hobbyists, it's the regular stuff. There's just the regular plain smoke, or the coal-fired, or the diesel scented. It's they offer everything.
That's outstanding to have the different choices of the smoke. I see
we have Williams.
We have Christmas pine right here.
Pine, yep. And then MTH's line too.
Now, with all these choices you have in here, I would imagine some folks, especially beginners, maybe have questions. So are you available for questions in those cases?
We always are, and that's what we like about our store, is that we really, as much as we like to sell online, as much as a guy, we really like for you to come and see us here in the store, because we can talk to you, get a feel for what you want and what you're looking for, and get it narrowed down instead of just giving you smoke fluid. You may want a preference on a scent, or a style, or a certain line. And we can help you with those things. And that's true for any of our stuff, from the trains or smoke fluids, accessories.
For somebody that doesn't necessarily want to shop on the internet because they have specific questions, but isn't in the Annapolis area, can you respond to questions over the phone as well?
Oh yes, we love for people to call us. We're here, Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6, and Sundays from 12 to 4. And you're
that's
welcome
7 days a week?
7 days a week.
Wow,
we'd love for you to call us and ask us questions, and then we can kind of cater to what you need and see what your needs are.
Make sure I get this right, because I think I know what it is already, but the number here is area code 410-349-4290.
Yes, sir, it is.
And people are free to call and get help that they would need.
Definitely.
Or visit the shop at shopstarhobby.com. Also very good. Also email. I know that you respond to that, because we've done communication.
Yes, we have.
Where I use the trains_things@yahoo.com.
That's correct.
So TRAINS_THINGS@yahoo.com. And I know you also have a Facebook presence.
We do
too.
now. We started a Facebook presence lately, yes.
Well, that's just about every way anybody could want. I mean,
Right.
You're available 7 days a week at the shop.
Yes.
Phone calls and email, Facebook, and internet presence. That's outstanding. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So in terms of landscape work that folks are doing,
Yeah.
I know from firsthand experience you have a pretty tremendous set of
we carry the Woodland Scenics, Scenic
the detail
Express,
products,
and even
yes.
Bachmann detail products.
oh god,
And we sell shirts too.
there you go.
So those are the shaker containers and things like that. And then we carry the full line of trees and things like that. This is our HO side of the store.
And a lot of this will work with all the different scales.
Right.
These are the Woodland Scenic products. They are fantastic. And you have a very extensive HO,
Yes.
set of HO trains.
Then on these racks right here from Woodland Scenics, all kinds of different kind of grasses and trees and shrubs and snow, the water system. The racks are pretty extensive from Woodland Scenics. and they could be used for modeling for trains or otherwise. Dioramas, Warhammer, any of those kind of modeling of any kind of sort. And then we also have their subterranean system, which uses foam and static grass and things like that.
And these either come with instructions or have them online, or
both.
Or
So
you're
going
offering.
to give you some instructions in there, and then like most of these companies nowadays, like we're doing, you can go online on YouTube and actually see the videos from the companies or other people who are using the product and tell you about it.
So it isn't just for expert.
It really isn't. They actually make your work look like an expert. The products out there today are incredible.
Sounds like fun.
And then here's our, just in HO engines alone, just this whole shelf.
That's fantastic.
From anywhere from Atlas, Athearn, MTH, Broadway Limited, and Bachmann, all throughout.
Now, in addition to trains, which is sort of what gets us here in the first place, but there's a lot of other things going on here.
We do.
And including models, the traditional cars. And
we're fortunate enough to have a hobby store that's pretty like an old school hobby store. So we have I think we have an extensive line of models. So this is our car aisle only, with some sci-fi and things like that, from the really big models to the standard 124, to even some to be used in O gauge.
I was noticing that as you were saying that I see some of these scales are not, even if they're not exactly 148, they're 140, 143rd,
Right.
or 150, and those blend in very nicely with those scale.
Yeah, I mean, we have some tanks here that's in 143, and things like that.
Especially if you just place a certain amount of space between things, and there's a matter of perspective that something larger is smaller in the distance.
Right, and then
Maybe you want intentionally something smaller.
right, and then on this side we have our ships and tanks on this side, from all sizes to even really big sizes that you can fly outside.
Oh yeah, look at Bob.
And we hang it from our ceiling. Again, like an old traditional hobby store, we do hang a lot of things from the ceiling. We use all our space from the very bottom to the very top.
Absolutely. I noticed that every inch is used. Let's see, let me take a show in the back. I know there's a place where the panels in the ceiling actually lifted up to get some extra space.
Yeah, we had to use every space, every foot.
That's outstanding. I mean, the sheer volume of things that are offered here is absolutely phenomenal.
And then on this side, we have some Scale Kaito track, G gauge, HO sets.
I know a lot of people notice these big trains at Christmas,
Yeah.
especially, but I believe that there are hobbyists that are year-round.
They are. We're actually doing a train show this weekend, G gauge only. And so yeah, it's like the O gauge guys. They have their own kind of show, and very extensive. And G gauge is made for outside, but you can do it inside or around the Christmas time, Christmas trees. So
Let's head over to the O gauge section.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christmas, I was curious, and I know some members of the forum had raised this question also, as to what kind of, at least in your experience, has been the effect of the Polar Express train on the hobby.
So I think the Polar Express has really helped bring a lot of families and young children back into trains. It's something they can relate to and they enjoy. The line is going on, I believe, 15 years. And then so for this prior year, Christmas time, they actually brought out the 15th anniversary Lionel Polar Express set that they only made 1,500 of. We have something for you to see.
Oh, let's take a
We
look.
keep most of our sets up front.
Oh, you have a lot of sets.
So these are what's in stock now. We always get stuff in all the time, but here's the 15th anniversary, and they only made 1,500 of them. And then
that's
of
really
course the
interesting.
regular lines of sets from Line Out. And the sets are a great way to get people involved and started who don't know what they want to do. The sets are priced to really get you involved into the hobby, and it's been exciting.
So at these sets are designed to be basically everything you need in a box.
They are. So they're going to give you the remote with the sounds and smoke and lights and everything. Almost everything you can ask for. A little bit of track just to get you started. You can always expand. The lines are, and the train companies are really thinking ahead and what's appealing to people. They start bringing a lot of LED stuff. I know people talk about the future of LEDs into buildings and trains. And they've been a big hit, and it really brings the trains more to life than they ever have before.
I noticed that it's a newer thing in the last few years, and
Yeah.
really big and popular. Really, people are loving that.
Right. It's good to see that Lionel's bringing out that new track that's going to light up with LEDs in the track.
I did see that in the recent catalog.
So we're excited about that. I'm glad Lionel is starting to step into that kind of stuff.
That's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be great, especially for a lot of the Christmas layouts.
Yeah, for the starter sets, and I really shouldn't call them starter sets because these are some pretty sophisticated trains. They're priced low, like a starter set, but you're getting a lot for your money, but it's not something that you're really going to outgrow necessarily because it's compatible with the rest of the track that's available by Lionel.
Correct. So a lot of these sets are the sound that they give to you, and the lights and the smokes, and then the quality of the cars. You're right. It's not something that, like you said, a starter. It really is. It's a lot of great product for the price. Well priced,
but great for young people getting into it,
of course.
But something that can last and transition into a larger set or collection, because these are really quality trains with a lot of good features.
Yes,
and it's really the same track.
And it's the same track, right? So it doesn't matter if you're starting with this or piecemealing it. You prefer to have your own engine or style and your own little cars to go with it. The tracks are all the same, and then you can pick your transformers in reference to the size layout that you have.
And do you have all of that here too?
We do. Like over here, you can pick your engines separate. And we also have been getting a lot of collections, so we have some of those things that are left over from all those collections we've been getting lately.
Yeah, I know that Star Hobby had more recently been moving in to the collections area.
We're finding more and more people coming to us.
So sometimes if somebody is getting out of the hobby for whatever reason, and they have a large collection, then they should maybe talk to you about helping with that situation.
Come and see us, and there's several ways we can work with you. Either we can buy the collection outright, or sometimes we'll offer a consignment and work with you on the pricing that you prefer to get, and then working with you from there.
That's great to have options that way.
So you're not
because people might not always know what to do. So if someone that has a large collection and they're interested in getting out of the hobby, then they contact you at the numbers we talked about.
The numbers or the email, and then we'll try to get back to you.
Okay. And all of that information will be in the description below this video.
Great.
So that's really.
And then on this side, we'll show you. Here's some more of the collection pieces to my right. We started off just really on the several shelves, then expanded to the other side, this side, the middle, and then this other 4 shelves on the other side.
And then this also offers your customers a nice price-conscious option.
Right. Someone else who's kind of had it for a while, and most of them are usually, when we get them at least, and we probably price accordingly to the kind of condition and shape that they're in. And then on the view that you're seeing now, that's some more of the collection pieces that have come in.
And generally, people don't run trains hard in a way that it's surprising how.
Right. So even guys who run year round, they will constantly put things on the shelves and switch them around and change them around and things like that, change them up. Christmas time comes around, they go to a different theme, and then in the summer or things like that, they'll change them out. And then we offer the track loose in the bins, so you can get one piece or 110 pieces.
So you can make any design or size that you want.
Right.
Yeah. But somebody starting out in scale, they could probably put something together on a 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Easily. And with all the new trestle systems and stuff like that, you don't think flat. You can raise them and lower them and go around. A lot of options out there today, using switches and things like that.
So here's a section that I probably spent a lot of time in.
Yes. Yeah. And we even carry the MTH Scale Tracks and even the old standard track, which has been discontinued. With the plain older style or the one with the roadbed. We still have some of those left in stock.
So that's the track that MTH was making under a license from Lionel.
Correct. Yes.
That expired.
And
so they're not permitted to make any more of that.
No more. Right.
But you still have some of that, so if anybody's looking,
some long pieces and the regular curves. And then we have all the switches again for the tracks that you can make all kinds of designs and things like that. It's the sky's the limit, whatever you can imagine.
Again, we got
Again,
floor to
we go
ceiling.
floor to ceiling. And in Christmas time and in the fall and winter months, the inventory swells, and people will come and say, wow, you got a lot of stuff in here, and we'll have boxes lined up in front of the aisles, and a lot of people just love digging through them. Here's a box we just brought out of some stuff from Christmas. It has some Christmas cards in it. We just leave out. A lot of people just like digging through it. That's half the fun.
And you encourage that, don't you?
We do. We really do.
People allowed to come through and look at the boxes. And
I want you to feel at home and just look through the boxes and see what's out there.
see, there's a huge selection of Lionel and MTH, real king by them. We're actually pretty close to MTH headquarters. They're in Columbia, Maryland.
We are.
That can't be more than,
We're about 45 minutes from our store to their warehouse, and a lot of times if we don't have something in stock, we'll run over there and get it for you if they have it. We usually call or email them and ask them if they have anything. And a lot of times, especially on a major thing, they may have the listing of all the trains, but they only have one or two left. They'll take them off the inventory, and yet they will still have them. So we'll call for people to find out if we can get it for them. And a lot of times we get lucky and we can get it.
That's actually happened for me, where there was something that nobody had anywhere.
Right.
And you made a call to MTH, and they had, I think, two maybe,
right,
and set one aside because of your special relationship and the proximity to their headquarters, that you were able to help in an area where really no one else could. So that's a really nice big benefit.
One of our
so close. I don't think there's any hobby shop closer to MTH headquarters, or that has that kind of relationship, and so that's very unique.
Yeah,
that's excellent to have. So I noticed we have 027 and scale.
Yes.
And
so,
quite a bit of.
So we find that there's a good mix between the 027 guys and the true O gauge guys. For a lot of people who are getting started, a lot of times we'll just tell them to get into the 027. It works for their size and their needs, and then as they really enjoy it, then they can be introduced into the O gauge stuff. A little bit nicer pieces, a little more scale, and they enjoy that.
Those usually take a little bit more room.
Right.
And those are the layouts that are filling basements and garages and things like that.
Right.
But fun, but all both sizes are outstanding.
And so even up here, we started putting some of the tall pieces, and again, kind of showing where we went past the tiles in our ceiling.
Yeah. It's higher than floor to ceiling.
To maximize the space.
I noticed that there's a certain amount of the houses here with the Christmas lights on them.
Yes.
But I'm only seeing that when I see the word Christmas. I didn't really notice the light as we walk by.
Yeah, a lot of us dealers were surprised when Lionel brought their buildings back out again in the same exact way, and we're like, what's different? And we didn't realize that these are the new Christmas versions. They have the LEDs in them. They're micro LEDs, so they could sit on your layout year round and just be your buildings. And at Christmas time or special occasions, you plug them in, you turn on the lights, and they'll go from a regular looking bridge or a building to something that is Christmassy.
That is fantastic.
So very subtle, and they're actually really nice.
That is a great
done a great
feature,
job.
So that you can have it on your permanent layout. Maybe you don't want to have Christmas Village all year round,
right? And
you just turn it on at Christmas because you're really not noticing.
They've done really well with their trailer park. So they look like just regular trailers.
Are they not?
And then they have the LEDs in them.
Oh yeah, there they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
So again, pretty subtle.
That's a very good feature.
We're really excited with Lionel's new plug-and-play system for a lot of guys who are just getting started. I know some of the hobbyists have told us, they're not really happy with this kind of stuff, but it's progressed, and I think it's actually a better move, And LEDs coming into the market, I think it's still pretty good and it is popular. I know there's some guys who are not really happy about it.
I've heard all positive, especially around Christmas time. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Children are loving it.
Yes.
When you start lighting up your layout with that, it's really something special, and that's attracting new generations to the hobby.
That's about every generation trying to get involved, and that's the future. If we want to keep enjoying what we have and seeing something new, we need to encourage younger people to get involved. That's true from trains to models and RC stuff.
I noticed a lot of the newer engines now are Bluetooth operated from your cell phone.
Yeah, so a lot of the sets are now Bluetooth. Even a lot of the other higher end engines are going to 2.0, and I think there's a newer version coming out here shortly. that allows Bluetooth, transformer, or handheld, which is great because not everybody's ready for the legacy system or the complexity that it can bring. We still have a bunch of customers who are running the old way of running Lionel trains, or even the TMCC stuff they're still using. So yeah, not everybody's ready to keep going.
And young people who live on their phone,
Yeah,
or
right.
iPad, it's
Right.
second nature. They could probably set it up for us.
Quickly.
Yeah. And now, so I guess there's a big train show coming up in York in April.
There is. The TCA local meet is, I believe, in the middle of April. It's draws tons of people. We'll be there. My parents will be there, and we'd love to see people there, or again in our store. And I know not everybody has the opportunity to come to the Annapolis, DC, Baltimore area, and that's why we have a website, like a lot of places now. But again, we just love when people do come to see us and we can talk to them.
So yeah, so you mentioned, first of all, they're in the Orange Hall at York.
We are in the Orange Hall in York.
I've seen their booth. It's excellent. But this really is, you mentioned your parents, a family business.
A true family business. My brother's here.
Here's your brother, Paul.
Hello.
And your daughter has actually been in the business,
She's
working
been in
it
business
since
since she was 8 years old,
since
working a
8.
register, and I'll show you some of the things she's done because she's really trying to make the store special for us. Oh, shit.
I'm gonna look around. I can catch up with
Okay.
you.
And we had some rockets that were built that were donated to us, and again, we are truly an old-fashioned hobby store. We hang our airplanes and our rockets.
That's really fantastic.
And then she made some of these
Oh, the
tiles
murals
up here. Yeah, she painted those by hand.
Oh,
So we
she's
did one
talented.
for the space, and then that was the original cloud she did. And we decided to do a bigger portrait, so she did the one with the 4 tiles with the airplanes hanging over this way. And so there's 4.
Oh, well done. All right, well, shout out. That's I believe that's Sarah is your daughter.
Sarah, my daughter. Yeah,
That
she's
is
in college right
outstanding.
now, and she painted those tiles for our airplanes that have been hanging.
Good job,
And most of those
Sarah.
airplanes were donated to us from our customers. So,
All right, well, thank you for the tour of the shop
thanks for having us.
and for taking the
Thanks for
time
having us.
to visit
Everybody,
with us.
Thanks for watching the video.
We want to encourage anybody to look in the links below in the description,
Yes.
and to make sure to visit shopstarhobby.com or just call directly at 410-349-4290.
Yes, we'd love
Thanks.
to hear from you.
Thanks for joining us again. If you have any questions, they are here to help and answer. They love the hobby and they love working with people, and you just can't get that just from a lifeless internet site. It's really, we're truly lucky in our area to have that, and that the service is offered to anybody from any area.
Yes,
So
yes,
please take them
definitely.
up on it.
Thank you. Bye.